Hey there, Mrs. D with a quick writing lesson. This is going to be about the 4 sentence structures, how we can put sentences together so that we can have some more interesting sentences. So, first thing we have to do is to understand clauses. Clause is a group of words, okay? So we have independent clause. The baby laughed. That is a complete thought. It stands by itself. And then we have a dependent clause. Because the baby laughed, and that is an incomplete thought. Leaves us asking questions, okay? So we have dependent clauses and independent clauses when we're working with sentences. A clause always has a subject and a verb, okay? So for example, in the dependent clause, it says baby laughed. Baby is the subject, laughed is the verb. Same thing in the independent clause. So you always want to have a subject and a verb in your dependent and independent clauses. Now let's take a look at a simple sentence. The simple sentence is made up of one independent clause, so one complete idea. The student completes their projects, but it doesn't have to be a short sentence. It can be very long as it's only one idea. The students complete their project in the cafeteria after school yesterday. That is a long, simple sentence, but it's still a simple sentence because it's still one idea. Okay? So that's the simple sentence, one complete thought. A compound sentence is 2 independent clauses, 2 complete thoughts put together. Okay? The students finished and the teacher smiled. So we have the students finished is the one independent clause, and the second independent clause is the teacher smiled. We're joining those together with the word and. We can use or, we can use but, and there's all that first independent clause is followed by a comma if you want to punctuate it properly. Okay? So we use fanboys to combine these sentences, to join these sentences together. And fanboys is for, and, not, but, or, yet, or so. Any of those words can be used to combine 2 complete thoughts together to make a compound sentence. Next, we have a complex sentence. Complex sentence is an independent clause and a dependent clause. So the dependent, remember, cannot stand by itself. It is not a complete thought. So we're going to put an independent and a dependent together like this. The teacher smiled because the students finished. Now, these are usually joined together with subordinate coordinators, like the word because, subordinate coordinator, because. So the teacher smiled is the independent clause. And then the dependent clause, the student finished. So if we just said the student finished, we would be left with questions, right? What did the student finish? Okay, so the teacher smiled because the student finished. Complex sentence. The compound complex sentence puts puts 2 independent clauses plus a dependent clause. So this is the most complex sentence that you can make. It's 2 independent thoughts that can be on their own plus 1 dependent thought that cannot be on its own. So an example of that would be because they worked hard, the students finished and the teacher smiled. So we have the 2 independents, the students finished and the teacher smiled. Those are your 2 independent clauses. And then the 1 dependent that cannot stand by itself is because they worked hard. Okay, so when we put all of those together in a sentence, we have a compound complex sentence, the highest of the sentences that you can get, the queen or the king of all sentences. Okay, so watch how this can grow, right? We're going to start with a simple sentence. The cat slept. Then we're going to make it into a compound sentence. This cat slept, but the dog played. Notice the comma. Notice the 2 independent clauses. Then we have our complex, the independent plus the dependent. While the cat slept, the dog played. And the compound complex, while the cat slept and the dog, while the cat slept, the dog played and the bird sang. So we have the dog played independent, the bird sang independent, and while the cat slept is the dependent clause in that one to make the 2 independents plus the independent. The 2 independents plus the dependent. You try saying it. All right, so we see how we went from very simple to a very well structured higher order sentence. All right, your turn. What is each one of these sentence structures called? Is it a simple sentence, a compound sentence, a complex sentence, or a complex compound sentence? Pause the video and do your answers. All right, let's check your answers and see how you did. Number one was a simple sentence. It was one independent clause. Number two is a compound sentence with two independent clauses joined by fanboys. Number three was a complex. We had an independent and a dependent. And number four was a compound complex sentence, two independents and one dependent clause. Four different structures, stronger writing. Simple, one independent clause. Compound is two independent clauses. Complex is one independent and a dependent clause. And a compound complex is two independent and a dependent clause. Say that 5 times fast. Write each one of these types of sentences in the comments, and I will comment back and see you in our next quick writing lesson.